Hello. The purpose of this video is to show you how to make bar charts and pie charts in Excel. And so I have some data here that was collected. This first column here is just the phone brand. And we surveyed a bunch of students and asked them what brand phone they had, and their results are here in this table. And let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so that you can see it better. The control for my recording software is right over the top of that graphic, so I don't think I can. Maybe I can make the font bigger. Let's just try that. All right, we made the font a lot bigger there, and we'll kind of reorient the sizes there. Okay, but typically, so this column here has just the various brands. We surveyed someone, they said an iPhone, someone else said they had a Nokia, someone had a Samsung, some other response in there that's in there. And so the first thing we need to do to make either both a histogram or a bar chart is to get the count, see how many times do we get a response of iPhone or Nokia or Samsung. One of the ways to do it is to take that group of data that you have. This is quite a long group of data, and it's kind of somewhat sorted already, but I'm going to select it all here, and I'm going to choose under the data menu. I want to choose to sort, and let's just do A to Z in there. And that sorts our data for us. And then what we can do is we want to count how many times we got an iPhone as a response. How many times did we get a LG as a response? How many times did I get Nokia as a response? But as I'm looking through this, there is something to note that if there's any sort of, you might have to kind of clean up your data just a little bit. Like this one response is a lowercase LG, and that will get counted differently as an uppercase LG in the software. And so you want to make sure your data is the same. So if you're doing something about what country were you born in, some people might say USA, some people might say America, or just the United States, or the US, and so you want to go through and change those abbreviations so that they're all the same in there. So that's important. So there I've got them kind of grouped together. That might make it a little bit easier to count, but there is a built-in command in Excel that will help you do that. I do have to identify what all my responses are, and I had iPhone, Nokia, Samsung, LG, and other were my choices. And so once I've got those listed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type the equal sign to tell Excel I'm entering a formula. And there's a command called COUNTIF, and it will count the number of cells in a range that meet a particular criteria. And so it can kind of see, I don't know if you can see that there, but it's telling me underneath that you want to give it the range first, followed by the criteria. So I'm going to go over here and select my range. These are all where all my data is. And I'm just going to select everything. And then the criteria I want to use. There are a couple of different ways you can enter the criteria. I'm going to do a comma. You can type it in exactly, iPhone, put it in quotes, and it will count it as iPhone in there. So that's one option. Or you can also do a little bit easier, COUNTIF. Let me select this range again. It was A2 to A201, I believe was my range. And then what you can do is you can actually just refer to a cell. So that if cell D3 here has that right name in it, then that's gonna work. I'm gonna go in here a little bit more and edit this. I'm gonna put $ signs in front of and after the row and column. And what that will do is that will fix those cells. So it will always look from cell A2 to A21, and it won't do that. But now what I can do, but I didn't fix the cell D3, and so when I use the copy down feature, you move to this bottom little corner of your thing, you can copy down, you can drag down, it will copy that formula down. But what it's done is it's left, if you look at the formula, a little hard to see the formula here, but if you look at the formula, it's kept the A2 to A4, but it's automatically dropped down the criteria, the D4, so the D4 reference changes to the Samsung. So I want to keep the same data range, so I put the dollar signs in there, and then I put the D4 to say you can adjust that when there's no dollar signs there, and it will go through and it will automatically count. So I got 41 Samsung responses, I got 18 LG responses, and 12 other responses. So first develop that frequency table. Sometimes the data you'll have is already in this frequency table. That saves us a lot of times. That makes it a lot easier, although it's not too bad in there. But then in Excel, to create your chart, all you need to do is highlight, drag and click highlight those things, and go to Insert. And then we have all of our different chart types living out over there. So if I want to do a bar chart, I might select a bar chart. There is a nice 2D column chart that looks good in there. I'll move it off to the other side. You can edit. You probably need to change the title here. You might want to say phone brand or something like that. To change the title, you can change the color scheme. If you don't like blue, you can go to some other. That's kind of weird. They have some pre-built styles in here if you want a different style. I don't know which one you like better. That's not too bad in there. A little bit of a shadow effect in there. That's kind of nice. But anyway, you can do that. If you want, you can collect on an individual item and you can adjust the color of that individual item. Will that let me do it? That's the style. You can change, all sorts of different things in here. There's all sorts of little edit things that you can do. How about right click? Oh, I can change the fill here. So maybe I want my iPhone to be, that's changing all of them. You want to change to a different color, you can change to a different color. With the fill, I think you can get, do I just have the one? I just have the one now. If you pay attention to what you've got selected, if you look at the little round circles around there, you can change individual circles down to different values in there as well. So you can manipulate those colors. You can change those around. Right click is a nice way to get to that edit sort of thing. Reset to match the style. Okay, so now they're all the same again. But you can play around with those different styles if you want to. You can change the colors around. Have fun with it. All right, so that's a bar chart. And then if we wanted to do a pie chart, actually let me do another bar chart here and tell you one that I never want to see. It's an option, insert is where I want to go. Under a bar chart. No, that's not histogram. Bar chart. There's this 3D chart, and I hate 3D charts because they're really hard to read. If you're looking at this iPhone, we know from the chart that it's 110, but it's really hard for me to look at that and say, is that really lining up with 110? Where's the top of that chart there? I can't really tell if that's at the one, what mark it is. I lose that accuracy when I make it that 3D sort of thing. I don't know. Is it, I guess it is kind of halfway between the 100 and 110, but it makes it a lot harder to read when you put that 3D effect on it. So avoid doing the 3D effect, please, in there. It might look pretty, but again, it's not so useful. Okay, and then if I want to do a pie chart, I'm going to go to do the same things, go to Insert, and then here's our pie chart option. We'll just do a 2D pie chart, and that gives us our pie chart there. Again, we can mess around with the styles. We can mess around with the colors. You can click and drag a pie piece. If you want to highlight a particular slice, you can pull it out. Or if you do get all of them, can you get all of them here? Pull out that pie part if you want to talk about, oh, now it looks like kind of a multicolored Pac-Man. Multicolored Pac-Man there. Anyway, so you get various colors. You can edit. You can change where this legend is. You can change styles, sizes, adjust properties. Whether you want to adjust text, you can add some text to it. You can put the values on there, format the chart area. So all sorts of options in there you can go and play around with. Change the style. Whoops. Where'd my style button go? There's my style button. You can change the style so it puts the percentages in there and gives you a legend over here on the side with the various things. Can you reposition that? Yeah, I think you can reposition that. So what the key is, what the different colors mean. You can change the colors. If you think iPhone should be a different color, I think it's over here under fill, the paint bucket. I can choose a different color here. That's the apple. Apple should be, do you like a red apple? How about that? Oh, that got them all. Okay, back to where I wanted it to be. Let me get just the apple slice. Or the iPhone there. I think I've got just the iPhone. Looking at where the little dots are. They're kind of hard to see, but I think with the little dots, I've just got the apple slice. And then I can turn it like a nice red. So it's a nice red, delicious apple. Or maybe you like green apples, you can change it green kind of thing. But you can adjust the colors with that as well. If you want to print a graph, if you have the chart highlighted and choose print, what it will do, it will print just the graph. And it will fill a whole page with it. So sometimes if you've got a lot of graphs to print, it's better to sort of lay them out on your page kind of thing and then print multiple graphs at once. Make sure that here's your pie chart, here's your histogram. I'm going to move them around, position them on the page. And then when you print the page, I kind of shifted that off a little bit. That's all right. Then when you print the page, it'll print those sort of individually as small pieces instead of taking up a whole sheet of paper with them. You can also export it into a PDF or to a JPEG that you can then move into thing. But you want to select, make sure that your graph is selected here. So I've highlighted this graph here. I think under File I can export. And then you can do, I don't know what different type of files you can all do. I don't know if you can do like a PDF or a JPEG or something like that. Does it give me that option? Can I do this as a JPEG? It doesn't look like it. Well, if you want it as a picture, as a picture as a JPEG or a TIFF or something, you can always use your snipping tool, your snipping app. Say do a new snip, and then grab your chart there, and that typically turns it into a picture, a TIFF or some sort of graphics PNG file, a graphics file in there instead of another file in there. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Snipping tool turns it into a picture. I use that quite a bit when I want to do things in there. Edit, screenshot. Snagit does it too. Snagit's the program I'm using to record this video, but that's not readily available on every computer. So that's that. All right, so those are the basics of making a pie chart or a histogram in Excel. And again, the tricky part is making sure the data is nice and clean, that you don't have different spellings for the same option in there. And then the count if command is very, very useful if you need to go through and say, how many iPhones did I get? How many people said Nokia? The count if command is very useful in there. You can use COUNTIF, it's in quotes a word, or you can do reference a cell where you've typed out the word. Referencing the cell is actually a little bit easier in there. Okay, so I hope that helps.